Hi and welcome to Accent Excellence. I'm Chuck Lionberger. Coming up on this special edition, we'll have a conversation with retiring Superintendent Dr. Greg Killow. So don't go anywhere. Accent Excellence starts right now. Hi and welcome back to Accent Excellence. Joining me is Dr. Greg Killow. He is the Superintendent of Roanoke County Public Schools, but Dr. Killow, Superintendent for not much longer. Dr. Killow will be retiring at the end of this school year, and so we thought we would take some time and sit down and take a look back at Dr. Killow's time with us here at Roanoke County Public Schools. And so, Dr. Killow, we'll kind of start where it all began. We're going back to 2015. And you and I sat down together back then, and I kind of asked the question back then, and so I'll start with it here. What were your ideas, what were your thoughts, your goals as superintendent? And back then you had said, we had a great school system, it was to improve what we already had. Right. How do we think we did?
I think we've done an excellent job, and it is a great school division. We have great students, we have tremendous teachers, great administrators, and what a great community, a community of support.
Now, there was also another challenge, to be honest, that we had back in 2015. Not only did we have a new superintendent, but many of the members of the board were also new, which also, a challenge, but also opportunity at the same time.
Yeah, anytime through my career as a superintendent for over 13 years, whenever you have new board members, it takes them a while to get their feet under. And this group has come in with a lot of energy, positive excitement, and, great care. And working with the transition from a board that had built such a great reputation and then put in place so many great things, it's new to watch a new board learn what they had done and then try to guide them and work with them to build upon those great successes and to build their own identity.
When you first came, we had some challenges, but also some opportunities. But one of the things that you said back in 2015 was that sort of that top of that list, or near the top of that list, was compensation.
Right.
So we've kind of tackled that.
Yeah, well, it's one of those surreal moments where we knew when I came into Roanoke County, because we had just come off of some of the hardest economic years anybody had faced in any school division anywhere. And it was hard because people had gone with freezes and setbacks. And, when I came here, a lot of people wanted to work for Roanoke County Schools. It's one of the pride of the Valley. But it's also nice to make sure that we take care of our folks. So when I was going out and visiting with board members, visiting with folks, that was the #1 thing put on my plate. How can we take care of our most valuable resource, our teachers, our teacher assistants, our bus drivers? What can we do to take care of that Team Roanoke that we have been working so hard to build? And with that, I was asked to embark on a compensation study. And usually when they come in and do the studies, they'll gather information, and they looked at other localities around us, other school divisions, but they also looked at the private sector. And we tried to compare what people would be making not only in the school divisions around us, but also in the private sector. And when they build these compensation studies, usually they're built out to occur over a 2 to 3, 4-year period. And a lot of times people don't accomplish them. And we had that phase, and then we had the phase dealing with the coaches and the extra duties that are required of teachers. So there was basically 3 main phases, and the first phase was broken over a period of years. That first phase was about a $6 million project. And with the work of a great team, Penny Hodge helping to lead that, Dr. Rebecca Eastwood helping, we rolled up our sleeves, worked hard with the board, worked hard with everybody on the staff, and we were able to find, which is probably unheard of, the $6 million within the budget, and it's a sustainable $6 million in order to do it in a 1 year. And that's, like I said, unheard of, and then the next year to follow up and to be able to give the first step increase. And this past budget season, we've approved the last 2 phases of the compensation study, and it's so truly deserved. What makes public education great and the school system great is the people. And to be able to compensate them is wow. And to be part of a team with the school board, with a finance assistant superintendent and assistant superintendent of human resource, and pull together and be able to pull this off would be one of those gold star moments.
Did you really think at the beginning when we thought about this, because when we started it, we knew it was going to be a big price tag.
Right.
Did you really think at the beginning we'd be able to pull it off in 1 year?
Maybe not 1 year, but you know, once we started sharpening our pencils and we realized how many years people had gone with minimum increases, it sort of motivated us as a team to get it done.
Other pieces, though, you know, the compensation study came with a lot of research.
Right.
One of the things that you also led was an additional bit of research, not about our people, but about our facilities, something equally important to the instruction of our students, and making sure that we have the facilities that we need, not only for today, but also for tomorrow. And that led to the facilities and the demographic study.
Right. And we actually did the demographic study. When they came to me, there was talk about closing possibly some schools, and there had been meanderings about that, and I thought before we did anything, let's get information. So we embarked on a demographic study that would do a 10-year projection showing what the enrollments would be, because we had lost over 1,000 students enrollment by the time I had arrived here, between, say, around 700 to 900 students, and we needed to see if that was going to continue. And we needed to find out where those pockets and where that was happening, and could we project that. So we embarked on a demographic study that gave us real neat information that helped to show that we were going to stay very stable or slow decline. And that was important for us to know. While we were doing that, we also entered into a study to look at not only the facility capacities but facility use. We were pulling all that together to design for the Board of Supervisors our really strong first ever 10-year CIP, and to turn that in so that we could use the great working relationship between the two boards of the 10-10-10 to be able to most efficiently use that and know what we had to do down the road. Plus, in the facility study, we got a good look at what are the real needs of the buildings, and to look at not only the maintenance but also what is really going to needed to be done in a renovation. And we developed out of that the CMP, which is a comprehensive maintenance plan, and that also got funded for the first time, which was a very powerful piece, because again, if we maintain our compensation, you know, we keep that going, then that cuts down long-term cost. So we were really, these two studies embarked on a great trajectory for us.
It was a lot about planning, you know, planning for now, planning for the future, not just capital, but as you said, also maintenance, which is something that, to be honest, some school systems across the nation kind of struggle with.
Big time. And also the safety advancements, that when I came here to see how advanced some of the safety, and to shore those up and to finish and complete a lot of that, the safety dynamic and layout was impeccable. Like I said, we took something and then we built on it and we've advanced the ball. Same thing. We have great instructional programs. We've advanced those and taken those further. Everything has been to build upon the great successes and to shore up and to help solidify and correct and really create a team and a collaborative effort based off of good information.
And we'll have more from a special conversation with Dr. Greg Killow, retiring superintendent at Roanoke County Public Schools, in just a minute.
A house will always look like a house, but what makes a house a home?
Laughter.
Kindness.
Oh, there it is.
Love.
Hope.
Family. Could you provide a home to a local youth in need?
Learn more about foster care today and help make a house a home.
Hi, and we're back with more with our special conversation with Dr. Greg Killow, retiring superintendent here at Roanoke County Public Schools. And Dr. Killow, in our previous segment, we were talking a lot about all the plans and things that you have been involved in over the last 3 years here at Roanoke County Public Schools. That was kind of on the HR and structural side. Now we're moving, though, into the classroom. And one of the big pieces that you were particularly championing was reading. And from that came the birth of the literacy plan.
Right. And it was a great birth. And I want to take it back just a little bit. We had a comprehensive plan here. And when I looked at it and saw the high performance of the school division, you know, we were looking at our overall reading levels. And I was looking at the comprehensive plan and wanting to solidify and make sure that everything that we did was tied into a strategic, comprehensive plan. You know, the technology, the special ed, everything to become not disjointed but unified, and that everything we did was around that. So the literacy plan evolved out of that because what I saw was such capacity and capability of our students, and trying to get away from worksheet working and really turn it into dynamics. But when we looked at the third grade scores back 3-4 years ago, we were ranked 40th something in the state, and then last year we found ourselves ranked in the top 10. And what is the most valuable thing you can give a student is the ability to read. And we knew we needed to start earlier. And to go into classrooms, and what the literacy plan has generated is a lot of small group instruction, which is great for building relationships with children. It's really getting them excited about reading. But bigger than that, we're seeing such gains in the reading levels. We're seeing kindergartners and first graders reading way beyond where they have in the past. And again, we had a great foundation, but we needed to advance to meet today's society so our children can compete in a global market unlike any that we've ever seen. And that was the passion behind it. And with the great work of Dr. Linda Wright, and again, Dr. Eastwood and Joe Legault and the whole team and all the elementary people, we pulled together something with the training and the work that I think will set a great foundation moving forward.
And it produced results. We had a school that, before the literacy plan, had a little bit of struggle, and now they're leading the way.
Right, and we have very few people needing expedited retakes. You know, we've had a blue ribbon school. We're just seeing so many dynamic things happening. And it's like we've said a lot of times, you know, we may have been quiet about these things, but this is about what's right for children.
Right.
And it really drives us. And what I like about so much about the literacy plan is the small group, but it also is helping us set up for, you know, one of the other things that was in that comprehensive plan under instruction, and that's my true love is instruction, but the project-based learning, you know, getting away from worksheet. It's not about the SOLs, it's about learning and real learning. You've heard me talk about real reflection and evaluation, adjustment and launch, just repetitively over and over. How do we really make learning real and make it application-based, you know? And again, you'll see that love for what I saw in career and technical education. We should make science come to life. We should make math be application-based where students understand it, and it should be fun and it should be exciting. And one of the greatest dynamics was when I came to the school division, we had 16 elementary schools, 5 middle schools, and 5 high schools all performing very well. But we wanted to change that and turn it into pull people out of silos and saying our greatest resource was our own people. If we could share ideas between schools, if we could have a common focus, a common purpose, weren't we going to improve? And we've created a great collaboration and great communication scheme. And it was a team effort. And it's taken a lot of people and a lot of support by the board to do this.
And it's taken a lot of creativity on the part of our teachers, and somewhat of a leap of faith.
It has.
Because the concept of getting to hands-on instruction, that takes a lot of prep on the part of our teachers, and I think we would be remiss if we didn't commend all of our teachers who have done such a phenomenal job in making this sort of dynamic shift over to project-based learning. But look what it has done.
And it couldn't happen without them. And you're right. And what they're finding is they're being re-energized by the students by doing it. But it does. It's always hard to explain to community the hours and the time and the energy that goes on behind the scenes. It's more than just the classroom. Yeah.
Another piece, and we talk about this a lot, safety is at the forefront of Roanoke County Public Schools. And, very unfortunately and very tragically, these days safety has become even more the forefront for various reasons that have been widely reported. And so safety became a big part of what you have been focusing on, especially in the last 3 years.
It is concerning, but we are in a new world and in a new environment. And one of the first things I did was, I met with Chief Hall, I met with the sheriff, I met with the fire rescue, I met with state police right out the gate. I saw the safety plans, reviewed through them. I commended the school division on the great use of the swipes and the places where people would come in and check into the buildings, and all the things, the cameras that have all been bought and put in place, and a lot of the mechanisms working with the team of all those departments coming together in a safety task force. But one of the greatest things was when we met with all of the resources, the fire rescue, the police department, state police, with the sheriff's department, saying, please come by and visit our schools. Build a relationship with our students as we're trying to build relationships. Also, they've always been welcome and invited to come into the school. Some of the misnomer in this has always been the relationship, and our first relationship has to be by code with the county, with the police department. So our direct line is with Chief Hall, and he's been just tremendous to work with. But he's been willing to work with all these other groups also.
And as part of our safety efforts, something that was initiated earlier this year was our Safety Advisory Committee. Members of the community coming together, and already in such a short time, a lot of great ideas. Yeah,
the safety committee has been tremendous, and they're working through, and the dynamic leadership and the collaborative effort. It's also very interesting that, during this period of 3 years, the transition we've had in leadership at many of our secondary schools, elementary schools, middle schools, and creating that succession planning has been so important. Invaluable, and leadership development has become a big piece, and part of that ties directly into safety, because if you have good leadership, they focus on all those aspects as well as the safety aspect of a school, and it starts with the leadership in the building.
Another major factor, and probably one of Dr. Killo's babies, if we could call it that, was a little something called the Registered Apprenticeship Program. And we'll have more on that in just a moment as we continue our special conversation with Dr. Greg Killo, retiring superintendent of Roanoke County Public Schools.
The Roanoke County Sheriff's Office presents RAD, the Rape Aggression Defense Program. RAD is a comprehensive self-defense course only for women that begins with awareness, prevention, risk reduction, and avoidance, while progressing to the basics of hands-on defensive training. Students must attend all 4 classes to complete the course. Simulation is strictly voluntary, and students can complete the course if they choose not to volunteer, but they must be present. For more info, call 540-283-3107.
Hi, and welcome back to Accent Excellence. We're continuing a special conversation with Dr. Greg Killo, retiring superintendent of Roanoke County Public Schools. And also joining us now is Mark Jones. He's supervisor of CTE here at Roanoke County Public Schools. And guys, we're talking about something that Dr. Killo had alluded to in the last segment, and one of Dr. Killo's babies that he has worked on for many years and has finally come to fruition, and that is our Registered Apprenticeship Program. And Mark, this is also something you've been heavily involved in, but I guess first and foremost, we talked about the Registered Apprenticeship Program back at the beginning of this school year, so you can go back into the Accent Excellence Archive to watch that. But now, what started as a pilot program has absolutely exploded, hasn't it?
It has, and kudos to Mark Jones and to Jason Sir and the Water Authority and so many other groups. It's just incredible. When I first came to Roanoke, and I remember meeting Mark and Jason, they kept saying, "You got to come to BCAT," and I went, and I was like, wow. I'll say it again, wow. It was the most dynamic, and wanting to re-energize such a great program. And I found kindred spirits in Mark and Jason, and we said, this is where it's at. And we started looking at CTE and how could we really retool and re-energize the importance of career and technical education and the dynamic things that were going on at BCAT, the engineering program, the mass comm, the art, the fine arts. It was just a beautiful, it warmed my heart to see it, and we wanted to, again, advance the ball. And we began to work.
And all of a sudden, from there, and of course, as we said, we talked a little bit about this on a previous show, but the Registered Apprenticeship Program is something, Mark, kind of special. This is a lot more than just kind of work study, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's an opportunity for students to really get out there and sort of learn a career, work with some companies that have really committed some time and effort into educating their future workforce, and they see it as a valuable tool to use to sort of grow their own here in the Roanoke Valley, keep students here, and fill some jobs that are difficult to fill.
And in many ways, this is economic development.
And it is. And I want to add on to what Mark's sharing. It's not only the registered apprenticeship. What makes it so unique is students are getting certifications when they're doing this. When you look at the lifelong earnings of an individual who graduates with a high school diploma or a college degree, but then you throw in that certification, the earnings are incredible. But the passion, and we're growing our own, and it's professional development, and it's project-based learning, it's real-life application every day. When you
absolutely, and it's really showing some of these kids how what they're learning in the classroom is directly related to real life as they go out in the Water Authority and they're looking at chemistry and math and the English and the fact they have to write reports and do things like that. It really does tie back real life into what they're learning in the classroom and their schools. So it's been a great program.
Yeah, it's not just learning it; it's doing it.
Absolutely.
Right, and it makes it what they're doing in the classroom now have real application. It makes it authentic. They understand why now they need to do it. We've had students in there that were at risk and now are thinking of advancing their education even further, and they're really excited about it.
Absolutely.
Now, last month we had a very special event when it came to the Registered Apprenticeship Program. We had a big signing event, and Mark, as you can talk about here, we started last year with a pilot program. 5 students with the Water Authority, and again, our huge thanks to the Water Authority for being our pilot partner.
Absolutely.
But now, this year, what started as 5, oh my, has it blown up. More than 20 students signing up as apprentices.
Yes, at the signing event, we had 4 companies represented. We had Balzer and Associates, we had Wabtec Graham White, G&H Construction, Western Virginia Water Authority, Southern Trust Home Services, and pleased to announce that yesterday I got an email back from Department of Labor and Industry saying that Canatol Steel has now signed on, and we have a student there too. So it looks like the total we have signed up right now is about 25 students, which makes it one of the largest apprenticeship programs in the state of Virginia.
And a huge, did you think, Dr. Kill, when we started this, and you started thinking about this years ago, that in just 3 years, not just 5 students, but 25 students starting a registered apprenticeship program?
No, and to know the work and the love that went into this, this just didn't happen. The amount of hours that were put in by the team, and it was a lot of team. It was the Department of Labor, it was the Department of Economic Growth and Development, it was the departments here in the school division, everybody coming together, Virginia DOE, how we were going to break down the barriers to make this happen and to make it truly a certification based, and now to unleash and realize what the potential of this is and what we're getting in return for it and what businesses are getting. You know, we talk about real business partnerships. This is it. This is the real deal, and it's creating a win-win-win. And ultimately, what Mark said a minute ago, hopefully we're making it viable for students to stay in the Roanoke Valley, grow, thrive, and raise their families here and make this the real place that they want to be.
It's been a fantastic program, and again, congratulations to all of you and everybody who was involved in the team on building the registered apprenticeship program. From 5 to 25, Mark, this time next year, where are we going to be at, do you think?
75.
We really have a list of companies that are interested in working with it. We're trying to grow it in a sustainable fashion so we can make sure that we're getting everything done correctly. But the potential here is almost limitless.
Yeah, I mean, literally the possibilities are endless.
Yes.
Yeah, the ultimate goal would be one day that any child that would want to enter into an apprenticeship. This isn't an avenue that erases college. This is an avenue that can open college, but it just sets it in a new way. It's part of a full career development, career growth, helping students set real career plans, and it has such great means of saving families a great deal of money, but also energizing our community. And Mark is right. He has been, and Jason have been hard at trying to keep that balance.
Because we have seen, and it's even recent reports have talked about, there is a tremendous need in the workforce for skilled labor.
Yes.
And through this program, we're doing what we can to meet that need.
Right.
Absolutely.
And meeting not only their need, it's also meeting the students' needs.
Right.
And that's the power and the beauty of this, because it's a perfect relationship, because everybody wins and the student comes out with something that's very powerful.
Well, it has been a great time reminiscing here with Dr. Killow. On behalf of all of us here at Roanoke County Public Schools, we want to thank you for your leadership as superintendent. We wish you all the best in your retirement. And again, we want to thank you for being here and for being part of our family and being part of Team Roanoke County. So again, thank you so much. Mark, also, thanks for being with us, and congratulations on the Registered Apprenticeship Program. And folks, stay right there, because more Accent Excellence is still to come.
I want to be a Broadway performer.
I want to be a doctor. I want to be an environmental scientist. I want to be a fashion designer.
I want to be a senator.
I want to be a teacher.
I want to be a professional athlete.
I want to be cool.
I want to be accepted. I want to fit in. I want to be popular.
I want to be invited to parties.
I don't want to be invisible anymore.
I want to be part of the in crowd.
You think you have to drink to be in the in crowd, but giving in to peer pressure isn't going to get you anywhere. Be true to yourself to accomplish your big dreams.
If you would like to adopt a pet, did you know that you can also go to the RCACP website and their Facebook page to look at pets for adoption? It's easy to do. Simply go to their website at rcacp.org or visit their Facebook page. Both sites include information and pictures of animals waiting to be adopted. Help make a difference in the life of a pet today. Adopt from the Regional Center for Animal Care and Protection.
Well, folks, that's going to do it for this month's edition of Accent Excellence. We want to remind you that our summer feeding program is underway right now at 4 of our schools. For a list of locations, times, and dates, be sure to check out the Roanoke County Public Schools website and come have a free lunch on us. Also, to the class of 2018, congratulations and good luck. I'm Chuck Lionberger. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.